Every day, 21 million barrels of oil pass through a waterway 21 miles wide. It takes only one ship to close it. The camera glides over dark, glassy water, the Strait of Hormuz at first light. The water is ink black, reflecting the dying stars. On the horizon, the silhouette of mountains, Oman to the south, the contested northern coast to the north. This is the most dangerous place on Earth. We see them now, ships, dozens of them. Massive container vessels, oil tankers the size of city blocks, their hulls riding low in the water, heavy with cargo. They move in a silent procession, like a funeral march. 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point, a trigger, a fuse, a tanker's bridge, empty coffee cups, radar screens glowing green, a sailor's face, illuminated by monitor light, eyes tired, watchful, the American flag on a naval destroyer snapping in the wind. Another flag, different, defiant. For decades, the world has known this place could explode, but we kept moving, kept shipping, kept pretending the math would never catch up to us. ACT-1, the morning. Everything changed. April 16th, 2026. Day 58 of the blockade handheld camera. Shaky, real. A woman in her 40s stands at a pump, staring at the digital display. The numbers climb. $6.47, $6.48, $6.49 per gallon. She's not crying, but her jaw is tight. Her hand trembles slightly as she replaces the nozzle. The tank isn't full. She couldn't afford it. Sarah Mitchell, single mother, nurse. She drives 40 minutes to work each day. This morning, she put in $20. It bought her 3 gallons. Fluorescent lights. A man pushes a cart down the produce aisle. It's half empty, literally. The shelves have gaps. Tomatoes, $8.99 per pound. Lettuce, $6.49 per head. David Chen, teacher, father of 2. He's looking for bread, the cheap kind. It's gone. Other shoppers move like ghosts. No one makes eye contact. Everyone's doing the same math. Calculating, compromising. CNN, Chiron. Oil hits $130 per barrel. No end in sight. BBC, global shipping crisis enters 3rd month. Al Jazeera, fertilizer shortage threatens harvest season. Bloomberg, economists warn famine possible by Q3. This is what it looks like when the world starts to starve. Not all at once, not with drama, just slowly, quietly, one empty shelf at a time. Act 2. The geography of power. We pull back, up, through the atmosphere. The Earth rotates below us, blue and fragile. The camera descends, focusing on a thin strip of water between 2 landmasses. The Strait of Hormuz, 21 miles wide, 39 miles long. It doesn't look like much from up here. Red lines trace shipping routes. Numbers appear. 21 million barrels per day. 30% of global seaborne oil, $1.2 trillion in annual trade. But through this narrow passage flows the lifeblood of civilization. Oil, liquefied natural gas, and something most people have never heard of, urea. Urea, a nitrogen-rich compound, the key ingredient in fertilizer. Without it, crops fail. Without crops, people die. This isn't the first time the strait has been weaponized. In the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, both sides attacked tankers. The world watched, worried, but the oil kept flowing. The United States intervened, reflagged Kuwaiti tankers, escorted them through. The message was clear: this waterway stays open. Modern, high definition. But the water is empty. No tankers, no container ships, just warships. Gray, bristling with weapons. But this time, it's different. Act 3. The blockade. The camera moves across the deck of the supercarrier. F/A-18. Super Hornets lined up like predators. Crew members in colored vests move with practiced precision. Length, 1,106 feet. Displacement, 100,000 tons. Aircraft, 75, plus crew. 4,500, the USS Gerald R. Ford. The most advanced warship ever built. 2 nuclear reactors, electromagnetic catapults, a floating city with a single purpose: power projection. She's been on station for 58 days. Her crew hasn't seen port since February. They don't know when they will. Officers study screens, radar, satellite feeds, thermal imaging. The mission is simple. No ships pass without inspection. No oil leaves the Gulf, not until terms are met. But enforcing a blockade is like holding your breath underwater. Eventually, something has to give. A small boat cuts through the water. Fast, low profile. It's not a tanker, it's a speedboat, armed. They call them swarm boats. Fast attack craft, cheap, expendable, deadly. Dozens of small boats moving in coordinated patterns, surrounding a mock target. The doctrine is simple. Overwhelm the enemy with numbers. 1 missile can sink a speedboat. But what about 50? 100? Unidentified vessel? This is Coalition Warship 73. You are approaching a restricted zone. Alter course immediately, or you will be engaged. Every day this happens. A test, a probe, a game of chicken played at 40 knots. Weapons free, engage. Tracer rounds arc across the water. The speedboat veers off, disappearing into the haze. Not today, but tomorrow, next week? How long can you play this game before someone miscalculates? ACT-4, the human cost. A family sits around a small table. Dinner, rice, just rice. A father portions it carefully. His children watch. Amjad Hussein, dock worker. His port has been idle for 2 months. No ships, no work, no pay. He's rationing. 1 meal a day for the adults, 2 for the children. He's already lost 15 pounds. This is what a blockade looks like, not from the deck of a warship, but from a kitchen table in Karachi. Tokyo, lines at gas stations stretching for blocks. Berlin, protests, signs reading, "End the blockade." Mumbai, farmers staring at empty fields. São Paulo, grocery stores with armed guards. The Strait of Hormuz is 7,000 miles from New York, but the distance doesn't matter. Not anymore. We built a world connected by ships and pipelines and just-in-time delivery. We built a world where everything depends on everything else. And now, we're learning what happens when you cut one thread. ACT-5, the invisible enemy. A conference room, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the port. Executives in suits sit around a polished table. On the screen, a map of the Gulf marked with red X's. Klaus Vandenberg, CEO of Maersk Global Logistics. His company moves 12% of the world's container traffic, or it used to. We have 47 vessels trapped in the Gulf, 47. Each one costs us $200,000 a day just sitting there. We're burning through our reserves. Insurance won't cover this. They're calling it an act of war. The global shipping industry moves 90% of everything you own. Your phone, your clothes, your food. And right now, it's paralyzed. Red lines show normal traffic. Then, one by one, they blink out. The Gulf goes dark. Routes reroute around Africa, through Suez, across the Pacific. But they're longer, slower, more expensive. Rerouting around the Cape of Good Hope adds 14 days to a voyage. 14 days of fuel, 14 days of crew wages, 14 days of perishable cargo rotting in containers. The math is brutal, and it's everywhere. Low light, screens everywhere, a long table. At the head sits the president. We see only the back of his head, his silhouette. Around the table, the vice president, the secretary of defense, the national security advisor, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. Every night, the same meeting, the same question. Mr. President, the Fifth Fleet reports another probe at 0400 hours. 3 fast attack craft. They turn back, but they're getting bolder. How long can we hold this? Sir, we can hold it indefinitely. The question is, should we? Every day we maintain the blockade, we tighten the noose, but we're also tightening it around our own neck. Gas prices, food prices, the American people. The American people elected me to keep them safe, not comfortable, safe. Mr. President, the polling, I don't care about the polling. I care about the next attack, because there will be one. And when it comes, I want to be the one who saw it coming. This is the calculus of power, not right or wrong, just pressure and time. ACT-6, the ghost ships. Everything is green and black, thermal imaging from a surveillance drone. The water is cold, dark blue. But there, a heat signature, faint, moving. They call it the Ghost Armada. Vessels that don't appear on radar, ships that have turned off their AIS, Automatic Identification System. In maritime law, that's like driving with your headlights off, at night, on a highway. Rows of analysts staring at screens, satellite feeds, radar. One analyst, Lieutenant Sarah Torres, leans forward, squinting. There, grid 47, heat signature, no AIS. She's running dark. Lieutenant Sarah Torres, Naval Intelligence. She's been tracking ghost ships for 6 weeks. She's found 32. They're using GPS spoofing, sending false coordinates. One tanker showed up on our system as being in the Mediterranean, while we had eyes on it in the Gulf. GPS spoofing, a digital weapon. You don't jam the signal, you fake it. You tell the ship it's somewhere it's not. You tell the missile it's missed. It's cheap, it's effective, and it's invisible. The camera circles the vessel, no crew visible, no lights, just the low hum of engines. This ship is carrying 2 million barrels of crude oil, worth $260 million, and no one knows where it's going. Flag of convenience, registered in Liberia, owned by a shell company in Panama, insured in London, crewed by Filipinos, and controlled by someone. This is modern warfare, not tanks and trenches, but shadows and signals. You don't need to win. You just need to make the other side uncertain. ACT-7, the tipping point, chaos. Hallways packed with patients. A doctor, Dr. Rashid Ahmed, moves between beds. He's in his 60s, exhausted. Dr. Rashid Ahmed, 40 years in medicine. He's never seen anything like this. Malnutrition, severe. We're seeing cases we haven't seen since the famine of '74, and it's only April. Bangladesh imports 90% of its fertilizer. Without it, the rice crop fails. Without rice, 160 million people go hungry. Kenya, empty grain silos. Egypt, bread riots. Indonesia, farmers burning fields. No point planting without fertilizer. This is the hidden cost of the blockade. Not oil, not gas, but food. The Strait of Hormuz doesn't just carry energy, it carries survival. The chamber, delegates from every nation. At the podium, the Secretary General. We are facing a humanitarian catastrophe, not in one country, not in one region, but globally. I am calling for an immediate ceasefire, an immediate reopening of the strait, before it's too late. The world is watching, waiting, hoping someone blinks first. But what if no one does? The camera pulls back, slowly. The warships glow in the darkness. The water between them is black, empty, silent. 21 miles wide, that's all it takes. 21 miles to hold the world hostage. We rise, higher. The strait becomes a thin line, then a dot, then nothing. Just the curve of the earth. We built a civilization on a foundation of assumptions, that ships would sail, that oil would flow, that the math would always work out. But math doesn't care about assumptions. It only cares about variables. And right now, every variable is in motion. This is day 58, 58 days of waiting, of watching, of wondering who will move first. If you watch the full video and learn about the 21-mile trigger, so hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any thought, let us in the comment below, because someone will. Someone always does. This is day 58. No one knows how many days are left.